Hello, and welcome to Schmacts. It's the podcast good enough to get you a C.
Minus.
My name's Matt, and I've got something to talk to you about.
My name's Kev. I have something to interrupt, poke holes in, ruin, and abuse.
Just do you.
Yeah, just be me. Just do my thing.
Abuse is new. Usually it's not abuse. I feel like
I mean,
abuse is harsh.
I kind of run all over some of your stories occasionally, and it's not always
That
nice.
is true. You're all ramrod over there.
Yeah. So,
Well, we got to address something.
Well, what's that?
Well, how about you address something?
Oh, well, I got a fact schmacks game for you.
Okay.
Just like normal, right?
Yeah.
Except I wanted to be more professional.
Okay.
So I outsourced all my work to a third world country, and I brought in two lovely gentlemen from Australia from the podcast Milk, Max and Lanno, to do my dirty work. Gentlemen, you want to introduce yourselves?
G'day, I'm Max from the podcast Milk.
And I'm Lanno, and Max will tell you more all about it.
Well, our podcast is Milk. It's basically a game of word association, and we have to talk about whatever the final topic is. Yeah, so jump over to Milk wherever you watch podcasts or listen to podcasts to see how we go with that.
It is a lot of fun. I have to say, I've listened to a couple episodes. We were on an episode last night, and it was a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good times.
Okay.
Can't wait for that one to come out.
So, well, do you want to go first, Lano, with your fact schmacks thing?
Is that how we're going to do this? We're just going to launch straight on in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
fire away.
All right.
I want to hide my
this-
camera because I haven't heard yours, Lano, so I'll probably laugh.
All right. Let's see. Where will I start with? So
I
how does it work? You need two things that are
Yeah,
true.
so the two things you sent me last night, like the three,
Yep.
would be awesome.
Yep.
Just fire away
Cool.
with those.
Done.
okay.
All right.
Fact or schmacked?
Just before you do that,
This wasn't
have you
planned at all.
listened to any of our new podcasts?
Pardon me.
Did
Sorry.
you listen to any of the podcasts that dropped yesterday?
No, I didn't get it. No,
That's
I
good.
didn't get a chance.
That's good.
Very good. All right. Here we go.
It's only been one day.
Here's my first thing for you. Wombat shit is perfectly square.
One bat shit is perfectly square.
Wombat.
Wombat.
the
Wombat
animal.
shit.
Yeah,
No kidding.
the animal. It's a small, round, furry, rotund Australian beast, which is cute and
if you-
definitely drops square shit.
And if you run
Square
into them with
turds.
cars, then the car will be completely destroyed and the wombat will think, did I get bitten by a mosquito?
What happened there?
I had to adjust my volume here so I didn't catch the wombats the first go around. Wombats and
very
square turds.
Square
Yeah,
turds.
yeah.
Okay. I'm excited to find out whether that's true anyways.
So do I continue on?
Yeah, so your next one.
Okay. A koala bear is not actually a bear.
I think it's a marsupial, isn't it?
You can't tell
Well, I
until
guess
it's
you
over.
can't tell me.
Yeah,
You're
you
telling
got to
this
hear
story.
all three.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's go. Number 3.
Number 3, most Australians have at least one, if not more, kangaroos which regularly come to their back door begging for treats and sometimes beer.
I was like, oh, this is obviously not the thing when you just said had a kangaroo, but they come into the back door thing. I mean, I can see it. But most Australians, I mean, a lot of Australians live in the city. I'm under no illusion of, you're like Canada. You got a couple big cities and then some
There's a
rural
lot of
people,
kangaroos live in the cities too.
right? That's a
they
lot
play
of
golf and
kangaroos in
everything.
the city. I've seen some movies, but I don't know about that. So I'm going to think that that's the one that's the schmacked there at the the last one there. I think koalas are marsupials, and I can't remember what the first one was.
Well,
Wombat
square
Wombat
shit.
shit.
Wombat, you're quite okay with square wombat shit?
Yeah.
Well, had you listened to our recent podcasts, 2 of those were dropped as little tidbits in our podcasts. And I can tell you that, I don't have any kangaroos at my back door begging for beer. They are dressed very provocatively, but they're not begging for beer. So that was the schmacked, yes. Well done. Congratulations.
Oh, that was fun.
Nice.
Okay.
But it's I think it's a double round because I believe
Yep.
Max.
Well,
also
I've
has
got one as well for you, Matt. And
What?
actually, you can both play this because, neither
That's
of
right.
you have got a heads up, so it's going to be crazy. If you visited one Australian beach every day, it would take you over 32 years to see all Australian beaches. That's number one.
Hang on. Yeah.
Number 2, Steve Irwin was first
Yeah.
called the Crocodile Hunter by a news anchor reporting on his 3rd straight win of the National Crocodile Wrestling Championships, and he is still the only competitor to have competed more than once without receiving a serious injury.
Okay.
Right.
And
I didn't know that was the thing you compete in, but sure, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you?
a Japanese doomsday cult set off a homemade nuclear device in Australia, which was only discovered by earthquake monitoring around the country.
Huh. Okay. I know
I gotta
that.
feel like I'd have heard of that.
I know. Well, yeah. I think, but maybe they might have tried.
I think Max might have fact him.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty fact right now.
That's Jeez, and I think I know that I think I've watched some videos on that. Maybe this Japanese cult, but I feel like if they had actually successfully
hasn't?
detonated a nuclear device, then that would have been part of it. So I'm going to say that one is maybe a little bit of truth, but some fiction in there. That last one.
Yeah, I kind of like that answer too. I feel like maybe they detonated something they hoped would be a nuke, but it just turned out that it wasn't a nuke.
Or maybe they tried to get one, or they were planning on it, but they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. There's not even such a thing as the National Crocodile Wrestling Championships. Everyone thinks that's a thing, but no.
Really?
In 1993, a Japanese doomsday cult did set off. Well, they believe they set off a nuclear explosion.
Like a dirty bomb?
Yep. Well, somewhere in Western Australia, they let off a nuclear device. Well, first they thought it was a meteor, but
Yeah.
with seismic monitoring, like they can pinpoint where it was, and it was right in the center of this area owned by the cult.
That
And
was
if
the
it
cult
had
that
been
had
like
the,
a meteor, would have left a crater.
that was the
But
cult that did
Australia's
the
so
subway
bloody
bombing.
big.
Sorry?
That was the cult that did the subway bombing in Japan.
I'm
They
not
also ran some
sure.
political
I
candidates.
didn't. I don't know much more than the name.
Oh,
of the
you
thing.
fit right in.
I got to say, there wouldn't be a whole lot of doomsday cults doing multiple things because they tend to kill themselves on their one big thing that they do, don't they? So you wouldn't be
After-
very good at it.
Yeah,
That
we
is
haven't
pretty
done any
accurate.
cults yet. I've been kind of dreading. I'm sure we will, but I've been kind of dreading actually doing one. Okay, well, I'm
But
one for two.
Western
Not
Australia is
bad.
actually so big that they just ignored it. So there's probably nuclear
Yeah.
fallout over there, which explains why West Australian women look the way they do, I suppose.
I guess I'm gonna have to take a word for that.
I was about to say that's kind of like large swaths of like northern Canada where nobody sets foot across, but I'm not going to go.
I love your moose. Are they
Majestic
meese?
moose
If there's
knuckle.
more of them together, are they meese? Is that the plural of moose?
I love Mises to pieces. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just moose either way. I think you got a group of moose. You got one moose. You got a group of moose.
Mooses. Could you say
Mooses?
mooses?
Maybe.
Mooses.
I feel like
No,
I've
mooses.
Wouldn't it be mice?
In
No,
door.
wait, that's
Meese.
Meese. Yeah, see, we're back there again.
I can't believe I fell hook, line, and sinker for the
Steve
Australian
Irwin
stereotype.
Crocodile Hunter.
Steve, everyone
Yeah,
does.
just like, yep, sure, why not?
Sounds like
I
you do
mean,
that.
I've seen some crazy things come out of Australia. Just for the record, so I was like, yeah, okay, sure.
I thought I'd go with something so absurd that it'd be like, well, it's got to be true. Yeah. Like, who could come up with that?
Sometimes
did have
that's
some-
like it's something that's too absurd. You're like, well, you're trying to think how much imagination does this person have?
I've got a couple of supplementary ones if you want to try and write your tally back into the positive side of things.
Sure.
Wow.
Bonus round.
Yeah. A former Australian Prime Minister held the world record for the fastest sculling of a yard glass of beer.
I believe it.
All Australians love Vegemite, and some use it as sunscreen on their noses instead of zinc cream because of its high
Can I-
iron content.
Can I answer this question with a question of my own? What
Sure.
actually is Vegemite?
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Cup.
When you make
I don't know if we
beer,
can be here, Max.
It's a word I've heard.
so when you make beer, there's like this,
It's
this
a,
leftover bile
sandwich
product,
spread.
and someone thought, yeah, let's
Okay.
put it in a tin and let's sell it to people, and they can spread it on stuff.
It's salty and yeasty and good.
Okay.
Or it's not,
All right.
depending on your point of view.
All
and-
Australians like Vegemite, huh?
Well, I don't know that I've met one that doesn't. And your final one, many items claim to be as Australian as pavlova, which is a famous dessert, or Russell Crowe, are actually from New Zealand.
Oh. Oh. I see what's going on there.
Interesting. I feel like Russell Crowe is from New Zealand.
Oh.
I don't know why. It's just a hunch.
He's got that Taika Waititi sound to his voice.
He looks a bit like Korg these days.
Is there a third one?
That was-
Or were
that
we
was
at
the third.
one.
Though that was the third one.
Oh,
That was
God.
the third one.
It's fact schmacks, guys. What do you expect? This is what we do. Half pay attention and
So okay, so there's I get it. Go with the second one. I
yeah,
think
I'm
is
gonna
the
go with
schmacked.
the second one as a schmacked. I can't see putting
Speaking
something
for a lot of people
yeasty-
there.
yeasty and salty on my nose for sunscreen. I just don't see it. When there's perfectly good sunscreen that smells like coconuts.
Well, it's better than getting some in your actual mouth of real sunscreen. Vegemite.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
That's true.
You can't
Oh
just grab
no!
a piece
Now
of
I'm
bread.
rethinking this. Yeah.
I shouldn't have
Well-
said that. It's complete. It's complete fiction.
Absolute bullshit.
We've redeemed ourselves a bit, I
Yeah,
guess.
2 from 3.
There we go.
Nice.
There we go.
Kev,
In the positive.
Did you prepare a Fact Schmacks game? This you really
No,
did
man, I
outsource it?
outsourced it. Yeah, absolutely. I thought this would be great.
It's very on brand, I think.
Very on brand.
That's hilarious.
Absolutely.
And then, good on both of you for no selling it before the show. And I was like, yeah, you guys play too. And then, I'll answer first and then
Okay.
you guys get to answer. Just really wonderful stuff. Love it.
I'm sure Kev will pay for that at a later date.
Well,
I get replaced by 2 Australians going forward.
Yeah,
You'll need
for third
subtitles.
world country.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
well, it might be starting to
I'd have a little fun.
be a little crowded house in here, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I'll see myself out.
I think they were also from New Zealand.
I was
yes,
wondering
a large
that.
part
I
of it.
was going to say that, but then I didn't. Which is why I was thinking about Crowded House. I thought the Finn brothers might have been from New Zealand. But,
Yeah. Sort of half and half. Half Australian, half Kiwi.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Don't
gentlemen,
let us hijack your podcast any further. Do carry on.
No, this is terrific. But gentlemen, I have brought you here for a reason, and that is to discuss something that I think is really tremendously interesting, and that's the Fermi Paradox. Does anybody know what the Fermi Paradox is?
Is it?
I do.
Enlighten me.
Is it bad that I
All
went
right.
straight to breasts?
No. No, well, I'm a knowledgeable Australian on the Fermi Paradox. Well, it depends. Are you talking about the Fermi Paradox in relation to time travel or aliens?
In aliens,
Okay.
specifically aliens.
It's like if there's no other species out there, sorry, no, if there is other life out there, then where are they?
That's it. Very succinct. Yeah, terrific. Said by
no breasts
Enrico
then.
Fermi, famous physicist. Apparently, one day he just exclaimed, "Hey, where is everybody?" That's the kind of famous version of that story. Apparently, it's always told as like he was talking to his buddies about alien stuff, but apparently they weren't even talking about that at all. He just blurted that out. So like kind of everyone's got a friend like that. It's just
A little bit of an epiphany out of nowhere.
or just
I
apropos
get
of
those
nothing.
from time to time, but no one's going to
Yeah.
name one after me.
But
They're normally brought
any-
on by grown products. Homegrown products.
Occasionally.
in a universe as old as it currently is, even if one intelligent species
How old is that?
It's like
Yeah,
14 billion
14
years.
billion
14
years.
billion. Yeah, give or take a little
Even?
bit at the end there. No,
Well, not
okay,
to the
give or take.
day.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
14.0697 plus minus some number or something or other. But any universe as old as it is, even if one intelligent species in our galaxy has even, let's even say 1,000-year head start on us, but even a 50,000-year head start on us, they should have colonized a significant part of the galaxy by now. But we don't see anybody. So what gives? It's two concepts that I just want to kind of bring up and then set aside just because they always kind of get brought up in conversations about this. The first is the Anthropic Principle. Does anybody know what the Anthropic Principle is? Nope.
I've never met anyone with the last name of Thropic, so Anne better have had a good idea.
Yeah. The Anthropic Principle is kind of it seems kind of silly on its face, but basically, don't be surprised to find yourself in a universe capable of supporting life, because otherwise you wouldn't be there to look at a universe that was capable of supporting life. Basically, we know that the universe is capable of supporting life because we're here.
Are we,
What
though?
about? Well, we think we're here. Now, what about the Drake equation? Has anybody ever heard of the Drake equation?
That's they called me on my
Max?
cell phone.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's
Oh,
on my
I'm with you,
hotline
Kev.
bling.
Well, I'm going to have to be the knowledgeable one again here. Am I?
Yeah.
Well, the Drake equation is, it's an equation as to how much intelligent life there actually is out there.
in our galaxy. That's absolutely correct. So the way that
Max is a nerd.
the way that we've arrived at this equation is here's the factors that you're going to multiply against each other. You got the average rate of star formation in our galaxy. That's something that we know, right? We got a pretty good idea what that is. The fraction of those stars that have planets, hey, we got a pretty good idea of, what that is. It's actually pretty much 1. We know that pretty much every star has planets. The average number of planets that can potentially support life per star that has planets. That's where it starts to get a little fuzzy because we don't really necessarily know that number. We can guess. We can make educated guesses.
It's
but we don't
definitely
really
not
know.
0.
It's not 0 because we know it's
Right.
at least 1, right?
So it's possible.
Yes.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Absolutely. Then we got the fraction of planets that could support life that eventually develop life. So not only can you support it, but then you develop it. So again, a number that we don't know, other than we know it's happened once. The fraction of planets with life that actually go on to develop intelligent life, which again, we know it's at least one, but we don't know
Is it, though?
exactly what that is. Debatable.
I mean, I've heard
then-
that dolphins are pretty smart.
So long, and thanks for all the fish. The fraction
Great
of
movie.
civilizations that develop... Great book. Fraction of civilizations that develop a technology that releases detectable signs of their existence into space. And then the length of time for which such civilizations release detectable signals into space. Those are all the factors that you're multiplying together. Now, obviously, the point that I was trying to make is that some of them are pretty close to being stone-cold facts, but the rest of them are plug-in kind of whatever you want, right? Let your imagination run wild, brother.
Brother.
The
Well, there is
classic...
currently a vehicle orbiting somewhere in space playing Born in the USA, which probably has more knowledge than I do. Does that count as a planet? Or is that just a Tesla that... got
Not
No,
under...
that's not a planet.
No.
Okay.
Not under the
I'll just go back into my little hole again.
Not according to the IAU, anyways. But you do you. IAU will do it. The classic answer to the Great Filter, I just gave away where this is going. Classic answer to the Fermi Paradox is the Great Filter. So the idea that somewhere, either ahead of us or behind us, is a filter that prevents most, if not all, civilizations from reaching the space colonization phase. Interesting side note, just based on the idea of a great filter, finding life could be bad for us in terms of what the great filter actually is.
I'm
Like
pretty sure it was... sorry to jump in, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Stephen Hawking that said, well, the colonization of America didn't go so well, like for white people coming to America. That didn't end so well for the Native Americans. Standing there going,
or I
"Hello,
mean, really,
we're right here."
yeah. Or anytime that's happened in, Rome did it to Spain, and
England did it
you
to
know.
the world.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say that the great filter is government and religion, isn't it?
Wow.
And I'll just hop back in my little hole and good luck with that thing.
Just jump out, launch a grenade, and then just drop back in.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that he's
That's how I roll.
It's nice to know that he's not only trying to get our podcast, banned from the internet.
It's just spread it around.
Party.
Well, let's get to the bummer stuff first. The idea that the Great Filter is ahead of us. Maybe it's climate change, maybe it's nuclear war. It's definitely bad, and it's definitely going to be bad for us. Could be a runaway technology. Maybe AI goes crazy. Maybe nanomachines, we start injecting them, and that goes, bad. But it'd have to be something that, like, most, if not all, civilizations will tinker with, and it kills most, if not all, of them. I think if there is one, it's probably climate change. Like, that's my gut reaction, that most civilizations that kind of start harvesting and industrializing, the resources around them will eventually collapse their environment. But, hey, could be nuclear war.
God, aren't you a ray of...
Well, I was actually thinking about something quite similar. Now, I heard recently, I think it was on a podcast, someone was discussing something much similar. Now, I know you guys were talking about on your podcast the bit of technology that if you don't contribute to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was listening to that episode, and Well,
Good
it's
one, Max. Winning brownie
made me
points.
think that I was listening to something where there's like a top scientist, and they were talking about what humans actually are, and that is that we are like reproductive organs for technological intelligence. So it's like,
So I'm a
Eventually.
computer dick.
yeah, basically.
I mean,
Well,
The
the
other
idea
day-
of it basically is that if there's one thing we do, it's to advance technology. We tinker with it, and if we keep going, then it's likely that something will be born of it.
yeah.
Some of the
Yeah.
hammer, some of the nail, I suppose.
You know, I mean, 10 times a day, my watch tells me to stand up, and I do it like every time. So, yeah.
It's given up on me.
Well, I don't know
think.
if it's I don't know if it's related at all, but I prefer to go with the theory that every, let's say now and then, that should cover several millennia. Every now and then there is a world civilization shattering event like a solar flare or something like that that resets the Earth. And then we basically have to start all over again from the fragments of what little bits of technology were kept from the time before. And
Now, that is-
possibly...
That is
Possibly, I stole this from another podcast, which very small podcast, definitely not in any trouble recently with the Woke Brigade. But that's why some timelines don't measure up. It's because, say, maybe the pyramids are from a more recent time, but something else in the same area, the Sphinx could be from a way previous time. As an example. Just to throw a spanner in the works, and I'll be back in my hole. Goodbye.
You know, I think because if you think about how we would know that humans were here, you know, in a million years, the buildings would be gone and crumbled, and you know, you probably wouldn't know from that. But there'd probably be a layer of plastic, and there would probably be in the fossil record, you'd see the great extinction event that is, you know, the last 100 years of us existing. For the most part, like in a lot of areas anyways, there's been a greatly accelerated rate of extinctions. So I think that's probably how, and also probably a layer of carbon. That's how you'd be able to tell that we were here outside of like skeletons, but I think we would probably find something similar if we went digging, if that was the case here. But that could be the case going forward. You know, we could be number one. Who knows?
That's kind of sad to me for number one.
The better case scenario in terms of a great filter is that it happens early. So what do we know about how life evolved on Earth? Well, life showed
Depends
up.
who you ask.
Life showed up in the first 100,000 years on Earth.
Oh, yeah, it was super quick. I think it's like 100 million, but it was like basically as soon as life could have been here, it was pretty much here.
Yeah.
So that to me does not strike me as any sort of great filter. Like it was just here right away. However, it took about 2 billion years for
multi-cell organisms.
actually that took like 3.5 billion years. The eukaryotic cell, though, took 2 billion years. That's just like a cell with like mitochondria, basically.
Okay.
Once they think, one cell tried to eat another cell, and maybe, I don't know, it would like refuse to go down easy and just kind of kept trying to do its own thing. And eventually they were like, hey, you know what? This is working for us. We're making this work. So eventually that was the gold standard going forward. It takes another billion years until we start seeing multicellular organisms. Once that happens, hang on to your hats. You get the Cambrian explosion.
Well, there's some
to now it's only
weird animals
500.
came out of the Cambrian explosion.
Yeah, we should still have some of those. It's a shame we don't.
There's like the scorpion thing with like 5 eyes and its mouth that's next to its ass.
Never
Weird.
mind. We shouldn't have any
I
of
think
them.
some of them
I was
still
just
live in
thinking about that
Australia.
weird fish.
That sounds
Explain the
truly
platypus.
terrifying.
But that's like last 500 million years is basically all the biodiversity on the planet has happened, right?
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a great filter candidate, maybe it's the evolution of the eukaryotic cell, or maybe it's the progression to multicellular life. Those, good candidates took a long time. Maybe, 3 to 3.5 billion years for all that stuff to come together. Maybe that's like really fast in the grand scheme of things. Maybe it can take, tens of billions of years for that stuff to happen on average, and we're like super lucky. Who knows? Just saying. Just throwing it out there. In terms of a little suggestion. That's the word I was looking for.
They certainly had better concentration than millennials do, that's for sure. 3.5 million years. Hell no. 5 seconds. No, moving on.
3.5 billion years, yeah.
Billion, exactly.
New kid on the block, though. We've got the rare earth theory, which is probably where my heart really is currently. What if there's something about Earth that makes it uniquely suited for the evolution of life?
Yeah.
Now again,
see, that's
we
where
only
I
have
Like the Goldilocks thing.
well that
part.
I think there's actually about 5 things that is unique to Earth, but I'll let you keep going, Matt.
I think, I think you'll probably some of this might not be news to you, Max, but we'll see.
It'll be news to me, believe me.
There we go.
Only because he doesn't listen to my
As
ranting.
it will to me.
Well, let's have a looky-loo at how our planet compares to at least just the other planets in our solar system. Those are the ones that we know the best. Let's even just look at our solar system itself. Oddly enough, other solar systems that we've looked at so far don't look a whole lot like ours. We've got these rocky inner planets, and then these giant gaseous outer planets. But other solar systems tend to have planets that are all pretty much uniform in size and made out of the same stuff. It really, in a lot of ways, looks like we have 2 different solar systems that have kind of mashed together. It's weird. Even the size of Jupiter is really weird. Only about 10% of the solar systems that we've looked at, and if we extrapolate that, assuming that means that that's a good enough sample size to extrapolate widely, only about 10% of the stars have a planet that big. Well, why is that a big deal? Well, Jupiter has been sucking up.
Vacuum cleaner.
It's a vacuum cleaner. Jupiter has been sucking up planet killer asteroids in our solar system like an absolute champ. It's something we still see today. We still see giant asteroids hit Jupiter that who knows, otherwise could have hit us. Must have been significantly more common in the early solar system. So while, that boring 3.5 billion years was going on, Jupiter's out there batting away asteroids, doing us all sorts of solids, taking it all on the chin, as it were. But
So Jupiter is our solar system's town bike, is what you're saying.
It stops the bullies coming in.
Just so I can get a
Different
visual
kind of
on
taking
this.
it on the chin here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Feel free to cut him
with you
out
now.
of the podcast. I'm enjoying
Matt
it.
my
still
audio.
is still not recovered.
yeah, I guess that's a way of sure.
Yep.
Even
See it
our
on a
place
t-shirt.
in the galaxy, where our star is in relation to the galaxy, might actually be in a very kind of fortunate spot. We're nestled in the space between 2 galactic arms. We're not actually part of the main galactic arm band. We're in the kind of no man's land in between.
Like a
That
galactic
might-
hug.
Getting like a galactic hug on either side. That's a great way of looking at it. That
Don't
actually
bring
might
Jupiter.
be quite
Always goes too far.
fortunate, though, because the arms of the galaxy, but particularly the galactic core, might very well be completely uninhabitable due to radiation. There's so many stars there. There are so many, meaning there's so many more like interactions between stars bumping by each other. You get mass firing in from their own Oort clouds, which they presumably they would have. You'd have frequent gamma ray bursts. All that stuff's very close together. You'd have black holes. Seems like it's a very dangerous place to be. Even stars like our sun, that have these billion years long period of stability, only make up about 10% of the stars within the galaxy. And the last thing is composition of materials. There's no guarantee that the spot where a star forms is going to have all of the stuff that we need to support life. In the beginning of the universe, there's only hydrogen and helium. Progression of supernovas makes all of the materials that we now see around us, but there's no guarantee that there's going to be like a cloud of, all of the good stuff in your particular stellar neighborhood. So that's kind of the stuff about our solar system that might be unique. The next thing would be our big helpful boy, not Jupiter, but our moon. We've got a big old giant moon. Like, have you seen the size of this thing? Man, it's huge.
That's not a moon. It's this. Oh no! Wait, no.
Space
No,
station.
that is no. It's yeah.
Alien space station.
Our moon might be no moon. It might be a planet. But massive compared to the size of our planet. Also doing the Lord's work, fending off pesky, life-ending asteroids. It's got all the scars to prove it.
And the occasional satellite.
And the occasional satellite.
I think that was in the news recently, like a satellite hit the moon in like the last week.
What?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Wow. Hey, it shot for the moon, and they did it.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it went out of its normal orbit, and it wasn't meant to hit the moon, but it's like NASA's all excited because they're like, oh, we're going to find out stuff of what comes up. Yeah.
Oh.
Is that
That's
a
cool.
fact, Max Schmack?
Yeah.
Max
I
fact.
would be Max fact.
Right. Very good.
He normally pronounces that
like
with
it.
a U.
So yeah, likely the moon was created when a roughly Mars-sized planet smashed into, but kind of like a grazing blow, they think, smashed into Earth. Just like a little, take it off the chin there, just like the old
Jupiter.
The old town bite.
yeah. And that probably smashed up our mantle and our core pretty good. That actually might be one of the reasons that we have a magnetic core, is this collision event, but also gave us our tilt more than likely. And our tilt is the reason that we have seasons. So anytime someone tells you that X is the reason for the season, you just tell them that no, it is because of a glancing blow from a Mars-sized planet that gave our planet an axial tilt, and that's the reason for the season.
We haven't
Whatever
quite
season
recovered
that-
and stood up again yet.
No, and we never will. It might be very bad for us if we ever did. Seasons, it turns out, are probably pretty important for for life.
What do you think our default season was prior to the tilt? What do you think we'd have been rocking right now? Summer, winter?
I think it was just hot and full of like methane and sulfur and stuff. We didn't really have an atmosphere until there was bacteria and stuff to make oxygen.
Yeah, but that's not what I was asking.
Well, I
I'm
don't know.
saying, if there was no tilt and the Earth cooled,
'Kay.
what would our season be?
You've
Just give
played
me one.
Fallout 4. What season was it in the glow?
Yeah, I would
know.
say tropical. Probably a wet season and a dry season.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Sounds like Jupiter.
Yeah. Moon
Sorry,
also
I
gives
need to
us
let that go.
tides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very important
Tides.
for shaking up
Tides
our
are-
water.
Yeah, and shaking up our water might have been a pretty important thing that happened in the evolution of life here on this planet. There's actually two major theories on how life started on Earth.
Before you get to that, were you going to get to us
Yes.
actually having water? Because I think that's a rarity.
Okay, yeah, I
Because-
actually didn't have that in my notes because I just assume water's everywhere.
Yeah, well, in the formation of a planet, they think that there's so much heat that all of the water moisture gets up into the atmosphere and then kind of goes out into space. So the fact that we've got water, they think that we might have been hit by like an asteroid or a comet or something that had water after the planet had formed. And then that stayed here, and that's why we've got so much water.
Yeah, that could very well be. It could very well be that even just having water is weird. There are two major theories about how life starts on Earth. One is tidal pools. You get these kind of proteins sloshing around inside of a tidal pool. They're getting baked in the sun. Maybe the pool dries up and all this stuff is just kind of like condensed on the bottom, congealed like the bottom of a saucepan, and somehow that equals life. I don't know. The other's through geothermal vents. Either way, the moon is probably important in that process. No moon, no life. So thanks, moon.
Matt.
Can I, just so that I can get this straight in my head,
Yes.
where I'm at currently,
Yeah.
without the moon,
This could be
Kelly
rich.
Slater is an accountant.
Pardon me.
What you're saying is, without the moon, Kelly Slater is an accountant.
She's. I thought you said irrelevant, which she basically is anyway.
I don't know who Kelly Slater is.
Kelly Slater, the world surfing champion at age
Get over
48.
it. No one outside of Australia knows her.
What about the huge Canadian surfing fandom?
I
Didn't know you could surf on
I
us.
don't know. Austin Matthews scored his 44th goal tonight. I don't know.
But was that because of the moon? I think not.
Maybe.
I think, yeah. The
Yes,
moon
but
loves
yes.
surfing.
Okay, so you are correct. Sorry, I let my no moon, no surfing. For
There
sure.
we go. I'm on board. I've got this.
Okay. So you're on board with like what, taking the moon out or?
Well, I don't know. Jupiter's given me a instant message. It looks pretty good.
It's a bit oversized for me.
Matt,
let's
I need
move on.
to I need to do my thing and interject here, and
Okay.
I just want to call attention to the fact that this is possibly the most prepared you've been for an episode.
I know. I'm actually like pretty much reading off of notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're very well researched on this one.
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed.
I'm somewhat disappointed.
Well,
Not
doesn't
really,
explain.
but kind of.
It doesn't explain how Maxwell's sitting over there. Have you shared your notes with Max so
Yeah.
that he can come across it?
We probably have a
Sounding
similar
intelligent.
YouTube algorithm
So-
at this point.
So, do you guys watch The Simpsons down there?
I did for
Matt-
the first 25 years.
Yeah.
I
So
haven't for
Matt,
the last
Matt
20.
sent Matt sent me a meme once, and it was like every podcast duo, and it was one was like Martin Prince, the super smart, intelligent one, and the other one's just Nelson. And I gotta say, like, Max, you are the Australian Matt, and Lano, you and I are soul brothers.
Two pieces of pod.
Yeah, I'm Ralphie.
Yeah, great character.
Let's talk about our planet specifically. We got that solid iron core spinning around like a dynamo inside of a molten iron exterior. And that
hold on,
creates
hold on.
Yep.
Listen,
Yeah, do it
when
carefully.
we talked about this show, I thought we were going to talk about aliens, not
Well,
how
we're
the Earth was created.
Well, this all factors into.
Give me like an ETA.
He wants to
I'm
know.
going to check out.
wants to know when he can tell
When
his
do I need to
UFO
come back to
stories.
talk about the green?
two
Men?
slides.
Okay, all right, perfect. I can wait that long.
We got that
carry
solid
on.
iron core. That gives us the magnetosphere, keeps harmful solar radiation at bay. How common is that?
Allegedly.
Alleged. Well, no, we definitely know that.
No,
that's
we
what
know
it
that.
does. Yeah.
I know.
We
It's
solidly know that. But we have no
Allegedly.
idea how common that is. We don't see that in any other planet in our solar system. We haven't seen it in an exoplanet either, but, to be fair...
You haven't
I don't
seen
think
an
we could
exoplanet.
Yeah, and I don't know if we could really tell from what we can see if that would be the case, right?
Yep.
Through like transits or whatever. We do have lots of water, which is good, but we also have land, which is even better. Because
I don't know.
if
Most
you-
life exists in the ocean.
That's true.
I'll agree there.
That is true. But if you don't have dry land to work with, you're never going to invent or wield electricity. Full stop. Right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Oh
Yeah,
no,
okay,
I'm going
yeah.
to
Come
interject
up with a
here.
Thor
Electric eels.
I think that if you don't have dry land, like no technological advancement. I'm sorry, dolphins, and I'm sorry, octopuses. We could give you all the time in the world, and you're just never going to put it together.
Are you saying
Unless
that
they-
the Gun City...
He always talks about
Never
movies.
Movies might have lied to you. We also have tectonic plates, and that's yes.
Okay. Tectonic plates. Come on, Max.
We got
stop
tectonic
interrupting.
plates, which was probably the reason that early human ancestors got out of trees, which meant we had a tremendous amount of brain power that we used to be using to manipulate our fingers and to kind of move by our fingers, and now we're not really using that anymore. And we're maybe that gives us the ability to maybe start thinking about other things. So they think that could be another candidate for a great filter is something like that gets starts you on that path to having a big brain mass, because evolution does not necessarily select for intelligence, because it's only really happened once.
So that's loosely an argument for why technology has advanced so much in the last couple of years, because a lot of our things that we had to do to sustain ourselves, we no longer have to do. Like, I don't have to go hunt and forage for food. I can read about JavaScript or,
Which we went through that in the
Start
Bronze Age
programming a
episode,
robot.
right? Once you've got people dedicated to farming, which can feed other people, and those other people can do whatever they want, right? Game changer, huge game changer. Okay,
Like if you
here's
look at
one
the curve
more.
of technology, it goes in.
It's
go back
so
60
sharp now.
years, and
Yeah,
we were
goes almost
just-
vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woohoo! No, well done.
How about this? What about this though? What if we're early? What if? We always look out at the universe. We think there's aliens out there. What if we're the aliens? What if we're the first ones? Did you ever think about that? I bet you didn't.
Oh, of course I have.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. But the
Slightly
there is
different though.
There. Oh,
My
do tell.
thought is that the aliens that are supposedly coming back, that are kind of human-like form, little green men, big eyes and stuff, they are actually us from the past who had to leave the planet.
Okay.
And they're coming back to check on how the new tadpoles on the planet are going, making sure that we're not about to make the same mistakes they did. Bam! How about that?
Yeah.
When are they going to intervene then? it's getting to be time, I think.
So
Oh,
the downside of the idea that we're early, and then I promise we're getting to the really fun stuff. The downside of the idea that we're early is we've got all these assumptions about aliens. About aliens have figured out how to travel faster than light, even if we might, not currently be able to really fathom how to do that without using things like negative energy, matter, which doesn't exist. could be that if we are the first, that those problems really are insurmountable, that what we're finding out is that a galactic empire is not really worth it. The distances are too large. We can't go fast enough, all that bummer stuff. However, what if instead of everything I just spent 47 minutes telling you, what if we're the Galactic Zoo?
Yeah, I like that. Like, we're the monkeys. We're the primate show.
That's another possible answer to the Fermi Paradox. The reason that we don't see anybody out there is because they don't want us to see anybody out there, because they're having way too much fun picking us up and
tuning into our podcasts.
They're tuning into our podcast. They're laughing at our jokes. They're laughing at our misses.
I wouldn't say that. She's in the other room.
They're loving us.
And they're taking Jupiter around the corner for a quick "how you going?"
Does that explain that big red spot?
I think it does.
That thing just went full circle like an orbit.
Yeah.
Spun right around.
Oh, yeah. Round and round we go.
I do have a question, though. Jupiter is the Hoover of the galaxy, sucking everything up. So
yes,
surely it's got some kind of Facebook marketplace where it's selling everything that could possibly be needed to make life. You know, all the particles. It's got it. Surely.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to wonder what it's hiding under all that gas.
Yeah.
Facebook marketplace. We just need to find what the URL is of that.
It's Facebook.
And away we go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to steer us hopefully a bit back on track here. If we are the Galactic Zoo, if we're the Galactic Zoo, does that mean that all of the abduction stories, like any abduction story, all those crazy people that are like, yeah, I've been taken by a alien and have something shoved up my, yeah. Yeah, so I was wondering is if some of those aliens are like the upper 1% of alien culture and they're like, hey, I want an experience with these hairless apes.
Like they paid for the safari, like the shark cage kind of thing. Swim with the sharks.
Yeah, and then they find some guy like on a pickup truck in Alabama on a back road, and they get him while he's alone. They dose him with old Old South.
So what happens if the people they're choosing are actually the top 1% of who they're targeting and who they want? They're like, yeah. That's where we're headed in the future. Let's get more about these people.
Well, that explains why Tiger King was so popular.
Exactly.
What do you guys think when it comes to like alien visitor stories? What do you think's the most plausible or the most believable of all the stories you've heard? Like the Travis Walton and the TikTok and the Tic Tac. Tic Tac and the gimbal. I like those too. It's from a credible dude.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah, Bob Lazar's interesting too. Look at his face. Look how skeptical he is right now. He doesn't want to say because he just talked for 45 minutes. Now he's like, I'll let them have their fun before I crush their dreams.
For sure. I don't have necessarily. I think Fire in the Sky scared the bejesus out of me when I was a kid. Like full swap.
You think that's bad? You should see The Fourth Kind.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Is something worse than the eye thing in Fire in the Sky?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You've just ruined the whole audience.
Well, well, let's go on a bit of a story here. I've had a UFO experience. I don't talk about it much, but I've told one friend, and they've said it's both the saddest and funniest stories they've ever heard.
I'm very excited.
So
I'm so excited.
I'm actually not going to say it because you're not going to.
Oh, you have to.
But what
Come
I'll
on.
say is,
You're such a
Come
tease,
on.
Maxwell. You're worse than Jupiter with your teasing.
Listen to Milk, episode 58.
see, I was. You see, Australia's a big place, and I was between two minor cities, Wagga Wagga. Yes, that is a real place, and Albury.
And what, sorry?
Albury? Well, Albury Wodonga.
Okay.
So
A real place.
it's about, well, they're both real places. So they're about 220 kilometres apart. I was driving on this road in the middle of the night, and I saw what looked like a car, like right down in front of me. So it was two red lights, and I was like, any normal person, well, there's a car just up there, up the road. And then it lifted off the ground and up in the air, and I was like, whatever that is, it's flying. And I don't know what it is. So, and in that moment, the moment where I go, oh my God, that's aliens,
Yeah.
I was the most scared I've ever been in my entire life. Like,
For sure.
Did you learn what colour adrenaline is?
actually, no. But in that moment, I froze. Luckily, the road was straight, and my tyres were in line and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't want to give away the ending. Yeah, but I was like genuinely scared for like 30 seconds while this thing was just hanging there. And then the lights started coming back down. And I was like, that's probably not good.
Even worse.
Because the car had gone over the hill that it had like gone up on. So
Yeah.
I was deadly terrified, and I will never forget that feeling. I will never forget it.
So it was just a car on a hill.
It was just a car, but the road was like long enough that the car could just go up and back down. But
For sure. Okay. Yep. Absolutely.
See, I genuinely think that 85% of all close encounter stories are like that.
I would imagine so.
They're based
yes.
in fact. You really saw something really happened, you were scared, but if you pulled the curtain away, you'd go, oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what.
It's
Yeah.
just those, young
I,
kids with their lowrider car with their jacked up suspension, toying with
I'll
wife
life.
and
match
I
you.
were once outside, just the right time of night to see. I think it was Mercury. Absolutely, Mercury or Venus.
It'd be
Just
Venus. Venus is
book
the
it-
one that,
that can just book it across the sky.
yeah.
And I had no idea what it was. It was too bright to be a satellite. It was moving super fast. Lucky in this day and age, you got the phone on our app. You can just point at the sky and be like, "What the hell is that?" No shit. Yeah, it's Venus. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we're going this way. It's going the other way. We're rotating at the same time, so it looks like it's just booking it.
Yeah.
Booking it across.
Trying to get away from Jupiter, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't.
If you
they
didn't
don't,
have
they don't turn in the
app
same
in your
circles.
pocket, though, like you'd look at that and go, "What the hell is that?" Like it, yeah,
Yeah.
really moves.
But then
Alright,
there's things like the Tic Tac story and the gimbal stuff, and like I wasn't there, but the thought of it scares me. And like the one thing I was saying is, like, when my partner goes away, I try and watch scary movies, and that's always about aliens.
Yeah,
There's the
she's not into scary movies.
no, but like even
it's
Lana
not.
doesn't like scary movies, but yeah. But yeah, there was one time that she went away, and so I decided I would watch about 5 scary movies in a row. Last one being The Fourth Kind, and it was not good. I I don't think I could sleep for the rest of the night, and probably the rest of the week too.
When I was a kid, I used to watch like Unsolved Mysteries and Sightings, and I would like lay and close my eyes in bed at night because I'd be like, well, if there's aliens, I don't even want to see it.
Yeah.
I'd just be scared to even open my eyes.
Yep.
Have you ever thought about that? Like, I haven't thought about that since I was a kid. About like if you saw aliens, that would basically break your brain.
Probably.
Like I don't think
like
you would
Cthulhu
you'd be able
or
to
something.
comprehend. I remember
Yeah.
when I was a kid, or not a kid, like I was, I don't know, in like 9th or 10th grade, and I played football, and I remember doing the stretches or whatever, and I was looking straight up, like stretching my neck out, and I saw the tiniest little like so high up, but it seemed so absurdly high that it was like, there's no way that could be a plane. It was so tiny, but like just visible, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the guy, so I was like stretching my neck out with my helmet or whatever, doing the thing, and I'm like, what the and I looked at the guy beside me, and I was like, hey man, do you see that? And he's like, what? And I'm like, look up. Fucking gone. Could not find it.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing, and that's always stuck in my head. And I've always just been kind of like, it's probably nothing. It was probably just some kind of random trick of the light, or maybe it was a plane and I only saw the glint of it for a second.
Yeah.
But I still remember just thinking to myself, like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
Like, I'm
and
sure
like,
everybody's
you don't
seen
forget it.
something that just fucks with your head to the point where you're like you seeing a car go over the hill, like me seeing the glint of a plane, or Matt seeing Venus, and then you kind of go like, oh, like that's I can't explain that. It breaks my brain. Aliens, horrifying, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
I
I think
think there's something. It goes right down into our lizard brain or wolf brain. whatever you call it.
for sure.
Because you get that cold shiver that goes through your body.
Yeah. We're like, oh, I don't.
Just for a second, and you just go, whoa. And then
Yeah.
you go,
Feel
it's okay.
You feel pretty good in this day and age thinking like, well, I've seen things. I know what's up. But yeah, I mean, you're to be confronted with something that was just totally alien like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a serious, that would be a sphincter pucker of 10.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Out of
real
5.
squeaky bum moment.
What's,
yeah.
What was that word, Max, that is a danger factor that you said?
Micromort.
Remember that word? Yeah, micromort. What's that on the micromort scale, do you reckon?
Well, aliens. That's probably the highest micromort that you can get. I mean, micromorts is it's a measurement of how likely you are to die from something.
Okay.
So, smoking cigarettes would be a certain number of micromorts.
Sure.
Driving a car would be a certain number of micromorts, and eating a banana,
Getting stabbed in the heart with a knife is a certain
I feel like
amount of
I feel like
micromorts.
that's an insurance agency kind of
Yeah, probably.
metric
Probably.
Yeah.
they came up with. They're like, oh, this guy's got 20 micromorts. We can't insure him.
Because
Guaranteed.
I look at it differently
like-
with the aliens. I think they would be the lowest on the scale of micromort, because if they can travel across galaxies, they've got the technology to do that and to appear in front of us. What's the likelihood they've come all that way just to vaporize you? I reckon pretty low.
But I don't know.
Fair
People
enough.
travel
I mean,
to
think
Africa
about
just to shoot lions.
Oh, that's a good
saying
point.
there's dick-
Yeah.
Good
There's
point.
dickhead
They wouldn't
alien
vaporize you,
dentists
or at
on
least they'd only
safari.
vaporize you from the neck down.
Well, I mean,
Put you on their spaceship mantle.
Yep.
Fly away.
Yes.
I wanted to make a point when you brought up micromorts and the insurance company. Did you know? Are you familiar with Megadeth, like the band?
the band,
No.
yes.
The band, okay. So one of
Max
the guys
knows
from Metallica got kicked out and started a band called Megadeth, and it's been a mildly popular, successful thing for the last 30 years in metal. But the term Megadeth comes from the Rand Corporation in America during the Cold War. The Rand Corporation would advise the U.S. government on its nuclear policy. and they would measure deaths by certain scenarios or like a package they would put together, like if this happens, launch this kind of thing. And they would measure it with like megadeaths, which was a unit of like 1 million deaths. So they would say like an attack of like 10 Soviet bombers to hit all these cities and be successful would be like 7 megadeaths.
Wow.
Super dark. Yeah, super dark.
That's the sort of thing
So
you
there's
can't
crazy.
really fathom. Like, you picture, yeah. Well, we've just had some very big floods go through where we are. And like, well, I don't know how many people died, but it's a sort of, I can't even fathom that. Like, if it's 10 people, I can't imagine 10 people just not existing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's 10 families that's just an absolute, horrible
Yeah.
tragedy for. And then like,
Yeah,
I
and then
guess
when you
maybe
talk
it
about
gets weird
scales
when
of
it's like a million
millions, it's
people
just
in a
like-
city because, there's probably a lot of
yeah.
people who would be affected by that tragedy who are also not around.
Yeah, so, a megadeath and a micromort.
Yeah.
Micromort?
Yep.
Mort. Yeah. There you go.
And these
Two ends of
dickhead
the scale, I
alien
guess.
dentists on safari.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know that the Greys had teeth. I thought they communicated telepathically.
That's the best thing about them is they don't have teeth.
Oh,
God damn it.
oh.
You went there.
I did.
Well, they're obviously
I did.
from
I saw it
Jupiter
and I was
then,
like,
aren't
well,
I'm gonna
I don't think anyone else is.
I'm gonna watch
And
that
our listener
movie
deserves-
Jupiter Rising very differently.
Yeah. The Greys are from Jupiter for sure, with their no teeth smiles.
I think
Jupiter doesn't have the sort of constitution to give you teeth.
Nope.
I think the biggest likelihood is the filter is that it's hard to travel faster than the speed of light, but that there are there's definitely 100% like unequivocally life on other planets to some degree. 100%.
The other thing that I was going to say or bring up is that you talked about so many things being great for our solar system, but yeah, I was thinking, what about other life within our own solar system?
Yeah. Like, Europa. Is there fish?
Bacteria on Mars.
Is there fish in Europa?
check it
That's
out.
what I want to know.
Or fish in Europa?
And if there is,
or
Can I get one in
Enceladus?
my aquarium?
Ganymede has
Ganymede, yeah.
ice geysers that like spew water vapor into space that might have, say, microbes living in it.
Yeah. That
What
would
happens
be
if any of these came home with somebody? Like if we had some way to go there,
Yeah, well,
Came
people
back.
think COVID's bad.
right?
it's unlikely. So, unless it turns out that there's like only one way to do DNA, it's unlikely that any viruses from anywhere else would affect us.
Yeah, because viruses on Earth have basically evolved to attach themselves to Earth-based things. Something from somewhere else is just like, what is this human?
Yeah.
Yeah, get
Might
more
as well
of the-
try to
Yeah,
infect
okay.
a peach.
I feel a little better about that now.
Yeah.
That does kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Now, unless there is like an ancient forebears civilization that we're all descended from and it's a virus that affected them and we're all susceptible to it, maybe that's why they're not around anymore. Have
Yeah.
you thought of that,
Yeah.
huh?
No.
Yeah, see?
Well, now you have.
Yeah. Damn right.
I don't know, man. I think I feel it. I feel like they've been here no matter what. No matter what you say, I feel like they've visited. Like that, the whole TikTok and the gimbal, the go fast, that to me is like you have like a whole bunch of people who know what the fuck they're looking at in the sky saying that was messed up.
Yeah.
They weren't
That to
looking
me
at
is
it.
the most plausible thing we've got.
They weren't looking at it in the sky. They were looking at it on a computer screen.
Yeah, no. There's a guy that actually chased, like, in a fighter jet, the Tic Tac.
And then F-18, he chased it.
Yeah. And then
Didn't someone
evaded.
also do a calculation?
No.
They did a calculation of from the height that the fighter plane was above the Tic Tac, and then they did a calculation of what speed it would have actually been doing over water.
No.
And that
That's
it just
the
looked
gimbal
like it was
video.
going so much faster.
That you're thinking of the gimbal video. The Tic Tac video. They actually chased it.
Is that Bryant gimbal?
No, but yeah, the Tic Tac. They actually chased it in the FA-18 Hornet. They chased it and it evaded them and then disappeared. And then they actually found it again by going to the place where they were going to go anyway. So whatever was piloting it or controlling it, had some sort of knowledge or could tell the actual plans of what was chasing it.
And that makes you wonder, like, okay, is that some kind of super advanced technology that we have not been told about?
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd have told people in the 50s that they could have a plane fly in that would never be detected by radar, they'd have thought, yeah, maybe in like science fiction, right? But
yeah,
you're not going to cloak a jet. We'll find it. We'll see it. And that would have terrified people back then.
Yeah.
Because what if the Reds could fly right into Washington and undetected, right?
Yeah.
That's Klingon technology.
Yeah, cloaking technology.
With those videos, I guess where I fall on that is if I was in charge of one of the biggest military in the history of the world, the most expensive military in the history of the world, and it became public knowledge that one of my pilots got tricked by his computer into a wild goose chase and then went back to where he was going originally and then got tricked again by his computer, I'd maybe want to say it was aliens.
Did it just start raining in here? I think it started raining in here. Someone's raining on this parade we were having.
I don't know, man. I
just can't. That's all. It's just like I just think that their very expensive computers don't work. And
have you heard about?
They just needed
Bob
to turn
Lazar?
the plane off and then back on again.
So
when you're in midair.
One of the things that I find interesting is the whole Bob Lazar thing. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, Matt. I'm sure you are to some degree. But so this guy's coming out in the late 80s saying that there's this technology and these things and this it's doing these certain things and they're trying to reverse engineer it. Right? So you go, okay, sure, why not? Now you look at these things now that are shadowing U.S. forces with the best technology in the world, and sometimes they're detected, whatever. They seem to know where the plans are. What if this is like some top shelf, top secret shit that they did reverse engineer from something out of this world with a drive that had I think it was like a gravity drive, they said.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But so they figured something out. They've got something. They're playing with it. They're testing it. Okay, we know these F-18s are going out on this pattern. We're going to shadow them. Okay, we got detected. We evaded. It detected. All right, let's take that back to the old drawing board and practice again.
I don't think you would take your very, very, very expensive piece of equipment out and try to get shot down by your own troops.
Why not? What if you have more than one?
It'd be safer than doing it to
Why not? Because
someone
it's an
else.
expensive piece of equipment.
That's proving ground, man.
Yeah, but you would at least. So if that was the case, it would be a training exercise, and you would tell the other pilots that they shouldn't shoot.
Dude,
this
you don't
thing
want
if they
anybody
see
to
it.
know that you have this.
Hey, we're doing this training exercise. Do you want to fly around for a bit and look at your radar?
So
That's it.
if they actually were doing a training exercise, there would be other pilots who fly those things, so they make sure it worked first. They wouldn't be getting caught, by their own pilots.
No, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's not how
I don't know who says there's a pilot in
not
it.
how any reasonable military would really operate.
Maybe it's controlled by someone on
It's
a PlayStation.
You don't think they've tested stuff out on people?
And
Like,
that,
what about
well,
the?
it's more likely to be that. It'd be a drone, if anything.
Yeah, so maybe it's a drone. Doesn't matter. That thing's doing stuff that no technology on Earth can do. Okay, like, so you got to think that it could be,
Well, there's a lot of things
just have
that
a
could
Google
be.
Home
It could
and
be faulty equipment. It could be a bad eyewitness statement, or it could be the head of the military saying, "Oh, we got duped, so let's just say aliens." There's a lot of things it could
Yeah,
be.
it could. It
But-
could be, but
It could be aliens.
it could be. Absolutely. It's the most
that's more
convincing
fun.
thing to me. If you were going to say, like, any argument, you had to pick one argument to defend aliens, I would probably go with that one. Just on the merits of who it's coming from, that it's arguably reliable people who would know what they're looking at in the sky. I mean, we've all seen
Reliable until
something
they're
that
proven
was,
to be unreliable.
yeah.
I'm not saying that he's unreliable. I'm just saying that, I know a lot about guitars. I've seen guitars that have confused me in the moment because I'm not sure if this is this thing or that thing, or I'm not sure if this is something I've ever seen before. Or, if I don't get in there and get a good look at it, it's just always going to be an unidentified guitar for me, Just knowing a lot about one thing doesn't mean you know everything about one thing. I will say, something happened there, but I think the jump to aliens requires so much more than just
because I want to believe.
Well, sure,
That's about all
That's
it
all that
takes.
matters. That's all
and
I
at
need.
the end of the day, that's where everyone's gonna draw their line, right? For me, I just think I don't know. I'm very pragmatic that way, I guess. Or just
This has been the equivalent of a professor giving his master's thesis, and then right at the end, right, are there any questions? Yeah, you reckon there's aliens? Aliens, talk to me about aliens.
I think there probably are. I think if for me, where I come down on the Fermi Paradox is, I think it's unlikely that there's two or more civilizations in any given galaxy at the same time that are capable of getting off of their rock and onto another one. I think it probably happens quite a bit over the lifetime of a galaxy, but I just think at the same time, I think it's unlikely.
I would agree with that. The ability to travel within your own solar system is much more achievable than like interstellar or between the stars.
Yeah.
But
It's
how
a- it's
badass would that be?
Oh,
It
that'd be
would be.
great.
There's so much human history you have to just be ready to let go of to even admit that we probably can't colonize the stars, right? Because we conquered land, we conquered the ocean, we conquered the sky. I just don't think we'll ever conquer space. Just assume that we will. Anyways,
What I love
this
is
has
that
been a
they've-
bummer.
I've just got a Facebook message from Lanno. He's just bought the domain spacebook.com.
Yeah,
Early adopter.
It's going to take off. It's going to take off.
I can't wait to set up my profile.
It's not hometown, it's home planet.
Yeah.
Jupiter's
also a,
relationship status is it's complicated.
And I'm launching a T-shirt company that says Uranus ain't got nothing on Jupiter.
I'll give
And
that
also,
a golf
don't forget,
clap.
in the words of Sting, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. There's your alien right there.
All right.
And I've killed the podcast. Yay, Leno.
No, this is good. Taking it in for a landing. It's probably time.
Yeah,
Kev, do you have a
we've been
closing
little,
fact for us? I don't have it musing today because that's pretty much what this entire episode was.
I'm sorry, Denmark never got back to me. So They stood me up on Fiverr. Couldn't get my closing fact today.
Okay. That's probably fine.
But Australia
Well-
for the W.
Absolutely.
I would say, closing fact, Robert Stack is the best TV presenter of any time, anywhere from Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Dude,
I
that would scare the shit
His
out of me when I was a
voice.
kid.
Yeah.
Can you send me a link on
damn.
Facebook?
All right, thank you guys for coming out. It's been a hell of a good time. And,
Max Lanno, everybody should listen to the Milk podcast. It is very, very funny. I love the idea. I think that's such a great idea. Talk about anything, but just start with milk.
talk about anything and start with milk.
Yeah, I don't
Thank
think
you
we
very
do an
much for
hour and
having us,
15
guys.
minutes on everything. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we do an hour and a bit on nothing usually. So
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much
This
for,
was a lot
for
of fun.
hosting us.
all right,
And we hopefully we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think so.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Canada. Hey.
Bye.
See you later.
Thank you for listening to Fact Schmacts.
We hope you enjoyed our show. If you want to hear more, be sure to check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/factschmacts.
Or you can check us out on Facebook or on YouTube or on twitter.com @FactSchmackedPod.
We also have a website, factschmacts.xyz, because we know you haven't had enough yet.
Sure.